Hello
Yeah.
everyone, I'm Jayveer and today I'm excited to be joined by Iman Bayatra, the former product marketing leader at Google and Microsoft. She's also an author of a book called Cracking the Product Marketing Code. And in this episode, we are going to dive into product marketing, AI, and the future of building SaaS products. So welcome Iman and thank you so much for joining me today. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Hey, Jayveer, thank you so much for having me. Just to introduce myself, I'm Iman. I have spent my career in product marketing and go-to-market strategies across different companies like Google, Microsoft, and Entity Docomo. And as you mentioned, I wrote the book on it, like literally cracking the product marketing code. So today's conversation is exactly where I live.
Okay, sounds good, Iman. And can you tell us about your journey into product marketing, like from Google and Microsoft to becoming a GTM leader and author of Cracking the Product Marketing Code?
Sure. So my journey has been quite diverse and enriching. At that time, digital advertising was taking off, and I so much wanted to learn from the giants and specialize specifically in tech B2B, which was still in its early days. So I moved from I moved to Google and then Entity Docomo, sitting right where sales conversations met product decisions. And that's where the job really clicked for me. Like it was taking what customers were saying and turning that into what gets built and how it gets said. And at some point, the cloud, the AI, and the big data topics started to rise, and they were becoming the next hot topic after digital advertising. And I so much wanted to be right in the middle of it. So that's pulled me to Microsoft, where again I wanted to learn from the giants, to broaden my skill set, and get firsthand experience in sales. And I can say that this opportunity allowed me to understand the real mechanics of product marketing, or sorry, product shipping and customer engagement from a sales perspective, of course. And it helped me as well, like deepening my understanding of the end-to-end product life cycle. I can tell that Microsoft is really where I felt that I am ready to go all in on product marketing. And that was the point that everything has sharpened. Like I stopped seeing this as a one skill among many, and then I started treating it as the thing that I wanted to go deep on. And during this period, like two things happened around me at the same time. I joined the Product Marketing Alliance right at the start. And I was like, I joined as the one of the founding members, and I threw myself into it, like reviewing courses, speaking at events, being an ambassador for the community, being active in the Slack community. And all I wanted is just to get product marketing knowledge out to as many people as possible. And in parallel, a few of my ex-colleagues pulled me, they pulled me in to become the director of product marketing at an AI coaching startup they were building. That's where I really built everything from zero: frameworks, processes, the whole function. And because there was nothing to inherit, so you need really to build everything from scratch. And honestly, like that hands-on rebuilding is exactly what became the backbone of the book later. Like cracking the product marketing code came directly out of what I had to figure out in that room. And from there, like it just kept going, product marketing leadership across different company stages ever since.
What does a great product marketing look like today and how has the role evolved over the past decade?
Oh, that's a great question, Jayveer. Like 10 years ago, product marketing was literally a service desk. Product was coming to PMM saying, we built this feature, it launches on Tuesday, and can you write us the announcement blog post? Or let me say that the sales needed a deck for a specific customer, so we created the deck. So let me say it was more a reactive role. But today, like that's completely flipped. The role is no longer reactive, it's proactive. Like product marketers are not tactical asset creators anymore. They are strategic planners. We have got AI agents feeding data into our hubs every single minute. So you can imagine the huge amount of data we are receiving. Like we are identifying usage pattern, we are tracking win loss signals, we are checking market trends, and We are observing changes in customer behavior. So we are busy finding the pattern in that noise fast enough to act on it. So it's not here's the deck anymore, but it's here is the market, here is what the market just told us, and here is the message, here is the channel, here is the audience it needs to hit, and it should all happen now. Okay, like there is no tomorrow,
Mhm.
let me say. And the clock speed has changed with it. So we are not launching once a year anymore. Today in SaaS and AI, especially like product ships continuously. And that means that PMM is not just sitting launching feature, okay? Like we are managing sustained product adoption. We are constantly educating users, and we are, like, let me say, continually refining positioning based on real data, on real time data. The other thing that has changed, and
Mhm.
which is very important, is that we are not siloed anymore. Okay, like I want to be precise here about this part as well. And it's not like because product marketers suddenly got great at chasing down sales or product or customer success, like for updates and so on. It's totally the opposite. It's because of the huge and sheer amount of data we are sitting on and how sharp we became at reading it that every other department now leans on us. Product wants to know what we are seeing in the signals. Sales wants to know what's working right now, not last quarter. And customer success wants to know what's about to churn before it does. So you can imagine the amount of data that we have. And this clearly says that
Mhm.
orchestration has become a real skill on its own. And to make it clear, I'm not here referring to just having a
Mhm.
seat at the table. No, it's about knowing exactly what data to hand which team and exactly when. So it actually moves the needle instead of just sitting in a dashboard. So if I had to sum it up, like, or to
Mhm.
sum up the last 10 years in one line, I can say that product marketing used to be the last stop before the launch, okay? Now it's the first place that the company looks
Mhm.
for the truth. This is how I see it.
Well, yeah, I love how you put that all these things and your perspective. You have built product marketing functions from ground up multiple times. Like, what are the first three steps you take when starting from zero for any product building?
Right. At zero, you don't have data to mine, okay? So you don't have a
Mhm.
win-loss
Mhm.
archive, you don't have a ticket queue with volume, you barely have a CRM worth trusting. So, like, the playbook here, it has to be different.
Mhm.
The first step is that I go and sit next to the founder. This is very important. Like, it's not the data. At an enterprise, like, the story is buried in thousand support tickets, but at the startup, the story is in in one person's head, and usually it's the founders because they have
Mhm.
done like every sales call themselves for the last year. So my first move is extracting why do people actually buy in their own words, okay? And this before I write a single sentence of positioning. So that conversation is worth more than like any dashboard that I don't have yet. The second step is that I pick one segment and ignore everyone else. Like, at big company, you can like afford to speak to five different personas at once, but at a startup you can't. Like, you don't have the people for that. You don't have the right resources for that. So I look at where, like, we are
Mhm.
already
Right.
winning fastest, which type of buyer converts quickest with the least friction. This is very important. And I make that segment the center of everything: the messaging, the website, the demo. Everyone outside that segment gets like a slightly sort of generic experience for now. Okay. And that's like a deliberate trade-off. It's not an oversight. So clarity for one buyer, like at this stage, beats mediocre messaging spread across five. This is important to keep in mind. The third step is that I make myself useful in the room before, like, I make myself official on paper. So there is no launch process like to plug into. There is no enablement library to inherit. So instead of building the system, I sit in on the next three sales calls and like just help, like answer the objection live, hand the rep a one line answer mid call, like it's try to support them, or help them shorten the sales cycle as much as possible. And that's like exactly how a founding PMM
Mhm.
earns the right to build the function. It's not by presenting a framework in one week, but it's by being the person in the room who makes like deals close faster, so that when you come and ask for a headcount, like nobody questions why.
So, taking that step further, what are the biggest mistakes B2B company or SaaS company make when it comes to positioning and messaging their products?
Oh, Javier, that's a great question. So let me start with the newest mistake I'm seeing everywhere right now, and then I'll hit the classic ones that keep showing
Mm-hmm.
up. The biggest mistake
Okay.
I see right now is that companies treat AI powered like it's a positioning strategy. Like almost every SaaS tool shipped a chatbot or
Mm-hmm.
a smart layer last year, and immediately they put AI powered right on their homepage. And
Mm-hmm.
the thing is that if your competitor can copy your entire AI feature in 3 weeks, that's not a differentiator anymore, okay? Like AI powered is not a pitch anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Mm-hmm.
a checkbox. So the real question is not if you have
Right.
AI, but it's about like what your product actually knows or
Mm-hmm.
solves that nobody else can. Beyond that, like there are still some classic ones that I keep showing up that keep showing up no matter the company size. And one of them
Mm-hmm.
is that SaaS companies are
Mm-hmm.
still confusing the product problems with the messaging problems. So your product could be incredible, okay? But if you are listing out features instead of telling the buyer how their life gets better, so they are going to walk away. And another thing we are still seeing way too much is the fluff words like seamless or innovative. So if you can take your tagline, paste it on your competitor's website, and nobody notices the difference, so that's not positioning, okay? That's just a decoration. I'll give you an example, like for Slack, something that I so much like their positioning because they didn't come and pitch themselves as a seamless inbox, okay? They said, stop working this way at all.
Mm-hmm.
We are real time in context, and there is no more inbox as to-do list. So that was really amazing in my eyes. Um, so what I want to say is that at the end of the day, most B2B messaging flops from one simple reason. It's about like it's because answering questions buyers never actually asked, okay? And right now, like screaming, we built an AI feature. This is just like the new version of that.
Sounds good, and it really makes sense. Okay, and how do you approach creating a successful go-to-marketing strategy for AI products or the SaaS products?
Oh, that's a great question, Javier. Like for me, before I even touch a channel plan or think about campaigns, I ask one question. Where are we choosing to play and where are we
Mm-hmm.
consciously walking away? And it's because like picking your ground or and say, let me say, having the gut to say no to bad fit customers is half the battle in go to market.
Mm-hmm.
And once that's clear, like I
Mm-hmm.
come and focus on three things, or like let me say, the puzzle is built from three, let me say, main pieces. The first thing is that I always come back to is who are we actually trying to win with and why us, okay? Because a lot of teams skip that and
Mm-hmm.
they jump straight into execution. But if you don't have a really clear ICP and real customer insight, not just assumptions, this is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are killed, you
Mm-hmm.
are kind of building on a shaky ground. Um, Especially like in AI and SaaS, okay? Like you have got to understand what's really going on for the
Mm-hmm.
customer. Like what problem are they dealing with? What is the moment that pushes them to look for a solution? And what are they doing today to hack around it? And like
Mm-hmm.
let me say that from there like it becomes a bit of reality check, okay? Like what's our actual edge? Is it the data that we have? Like is it that we fit seamlessly into their workflow? Is it just like how fast we deliver value? Because like if you can't explain in one sentence why you win, there is no way, like it doesn't matter how much budget you put on on your marketing, or it doesn't matter how smart your channel strategy is going, they are not going to fix that, and you'll just ending up moving faster in the wrong direction. The second thing that I think of is really about alignment, okay? Like making sure the entire company is moving in the same direction around that strategy. This is very important, like because a strong go-to-market strategy is not something that belongs only to marketing. Like marketing can help define the positioning, the market approach, the channels, and so on. But success depends on let me say product, sales, and customer success. All of them understanding the same fundamentals, which are like who we are building for, what problem we are solving, and why
Hmm.
customers choose us. And this becomes very critical as companies grow. Okay, like different teams naturally start to
Mhm.
develop their own priorities and perspectives. You can see that sales might focus on the biggest opportunities, product might focus on the most requested features, and marketing might focus on the segments that showing the most engagement. Like all those perspectives are
Mhm.
valuable and I respect them, but without alignment, the company can end up moving in different directions. And this is like important to keep an
Right.
eye on. And the final piece is really about staying close to the signals, okay? Especially nowadays with the, like not only the SaaS and as well the AI. You can see that the market is moving incredibly quickly. Like a go-to-market strategy cannot be something you create once and like you put it in a document and revisit 6 months later. Okay, like you need to treat it as a dynamic
Mhm.
system, and this dynamic system is evolving based on what you are learning from the field. And that means like you
Mhm.
need as a product marketer you need to build a constant feedback loop between what you are hearing from sales, what customers are telling you, and what like data is showing you like through product usage and engagement. So this is like very
Hmm.
important because sometimes like you will find out that the market is telling you something different than what you expected. Okay, like maybe a certain customer segment is
Hmm.
adapting faster, maybe a specific use case is resonating more, or maybe like messaging is not landing the way like you thought it would. So the companies that win, according like to what I see or in my eyes, are the ones that can recognize those signals early and adapt, like refining their positioning, their messaging, and sometimes
Mhm.
even their whole go-to-market motion, and all that like based on real customer data and not assumptions. So once you have like
Mhm.
those three pieces ready and like you are on control of them, then all what related to tactics in terms of campaigns, funnels, metrics, you name it, you can see that they almost write themselves.
And now AI is transforming every business functions. And how do you see AI is changing the product marketing and like go-to-market strategy or GTM over for the next few years?
I think the biggest shift people are still underestimating is that AI is not just changing how product marketers work, like it's changing how buyers discover and
Mm-hmm.
evaluate products. And like for years, we have optimized for human buyers. We think about websites, content, campaigns, sales conversations, and so on. Sorry. And step by step,
Mm-hmm.
we are seeing another layer in between, okay, which is that the AI systems are helping buyers research, they help them compare, and they even help them make decisions
Mm-hmm.
even before a human enters the conversation. And that's like this is something that changes the role of positioning. So it's no longer just about like it's no longer just about having a great message that resonates with people. It's also about making sure that your product story is very well structured, clear, accurate enough that AI systems can understand it correctly and represent you the right way. So,
Mm-hmm.
and this is what we call AEO, or agent engine optimization. Like
Right.
like you need to make sure that your positioning works not only for humans. Okay, like it should be as well working like for the machines, helping humans make decisions. Another big shift is
Mm.
speed. From what I see, like the traditional marketing rhythm was built around campaigns, quarterly plans, launches, content
Mm.
calendars. I can say that AI is compressing that cycle. Like customer
Mm-hmm.
expectations, competitive positioning, and market conversations are changing much faster. So product marketers like will need to operate
Mm.
with, let me say, much tighter feedback loops, constantly looking at what customers are telling
Mm.
saying, what sales teams are
Mm.
hearing, and what the data is showing, and be like able
Mm.
to adjust the messaging much
Mm.
faster than before. And I can say like the part that I see most interesting is the strategic shift of like in terms of ownership. So You can see that as AI becomes more involved in representing companies to buyers, so you can see that product marketer is becoming even more responsible for the source of the truth about the product. And one thing to keep in mind, though, is
Mhm.
that there's a lot of excitement around AI right now, which makes a lot of sense, huh? But product
Right.
marketers and companies that win, like what
Hmm.
they won't be necessarily the ones that are adopting the most AI tools. In my eyes, they will be the ones that are thoughtful
Hmm.
about where AI genuinely creates value and where human judgment, customer empathy, and strategic thinking are still irreplaceable. So, if I had to summarize it in one sentence, I can say that the future of product marketing is not just about using AI to create like more content faster or to automate workflows. It's about using AI to create real value while still bringing in the human insight, the customer empathy, the strategic thinking, and this is how it should be.
And working with like you worked with the Google and Microsoft, and what lessons from your experience at Google and Microsoft and other global like companies can startup apply regardless of their size?
Okay. So two things really stuck with me from working at companies like Google and Microsoft. And interestingly, they are not the things people usually expect to hear. And the first one is around
Hmm.
agility. But I think that like agility is often misunderstood because like people say move fast, but the real lesson is not just moving fast, it's learning
Right.
fast. Like at Google, we were
Hmm.
constantly experimenting.
Hmm.
Sometimes it was something small, like testing a different user experience or changing a small part of the product flow. And then, like, we would look at the data,
Hmm.
understand what worked and what didn't. And if something wasn't delivering, we just moved on quickly. So the important part wasn't that we were not overly attached to our ideas. Like the goal wasn't to be right every time. The goal was to find out what was right and apply it as quickly as possible. And I think that's like a huge
Hmm.
message, sorry, a huge lesson for startups. Like you don't need Google's resources to do that. You need the mindset. Like you need to test, to learn, to adapt, and to be comfortable changing direction. Like when data tells you to do that. Another or the
Hmm.
second lesson is building repeatable processes earlier than feels natural. So one thing you notice is in large companies is that the machine already exists. They are
Hmm.
established. There are established ways to launch products, position solutions, enable sales, and communicate across teams. Okay, but startups don't have that luxury. Like you are
Hmm.
building the machine while you are running it.
Right.
And the mistake I see that sometimes is that
Hmm.
companies
Hmm. Hmm.
either create too much process too early or they wait like too long and everything stays in people's heads. So the habit that I recommend is simple. Like the second time you do something, start turning it into a repeatable process. It could be a launch checklist, it could be a
Hmm.
competitive framework, it could be a messaging template, or just like a way of capturing what you learned from
Hmm.
customers. Because like when you are talking about five people, it might like feel unnecessary because like everyone knows like everything, okay? But once you grow like to 50 people, those
Hmm.
simple
Hmm.
systems just become what allows the company to scale without like constantly solving the same problems over and over again. So the lesson here is that like keep the experimentation
Hmm.
mindset of a startup, but build the operating discipline that allows you to scale.
The final question, looking ahead, what trends and AI opportunity in AI, SaaS, and product marketing are you most excited about?
What I keep coming back to is this shift toward going deep into one specific type of customer instead of trying to serve everyone. Like it's actually why I'm taking part in building iHoog right now. It's a tool made specifically for small service businesses, not some big CRM like with SMB bolted on as an afterthought. So I really believe the next few years belong to companies that go narrow and deep and not wide and generic. And then there is the piece I think
Mhm.
is going to change our actual jobs the fastest, which is AI agents becoming buyers themselves. Like not tools people use to help them decide, but actual agents out there doing the research, like doing the shortlisting. And before a human ever looks at your site, So once that's real, positioning is not just about convincing a person anymore. It's about making sure your product makes sense to a machine that's vouching for you. So if you ask me what excites me most, it's that the industry is finally rewarding depth over reach. So knowing one customer really well beats trying to serve everyone.
Okay, well, Iman, thank you so much for sharing your experience and insights today. It was a pleasure learning from you your journey and hearing your perspective on product marketing. And I'm sure our audience will walk away with valuable ideas and insights to apply in their career. And to everyone watching this video, and thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, keep learning, keep building, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much, Iman.
Thank you so much, Jayveer.